A very good afternoon to you. This is TV Sapienza on Star Times Channel 260. Today is Thursday, the 3rd of July 2025. My name is Joe Igbo. In our news headlines this afternoon, the Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the legal tussle on the Edo State governorship election petition. Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has condemned the killing of 10 Ebonyi State indigents in Ogboji, Orumba South local government area of Anambra State, describing the incident as barbaric and unacceptable. The Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) has donated food items to survivors of the recent flood disaster in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. And Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has charged members of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) deployed to Delta State to remain focused and dedicated to their duties in their places of primary assignment. Now the details of the news. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the legal tussle on the Edo State governorship election petition. The Apex Court adjourned the judgment indefinitely after taking arguments for and against the election that produced Senator Monday Okpeholo as the duly elected governor. Justice Garba Lawal, who presided over hearing of the appeal filed by Aswe Igodalo and the People's Democratic Party (PDP), said that the date for delivery of the judgment will be communicated to parties involved. Igodalo, whose appeal was argued by Ken Mosia San, urged the Supreme Court to remove Okpeholo and pronounce him as winner of the election. His ground was that he secured a majority of lawful votes in the election. However, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), represented by Kanu Agabi San, asked the Apex Court to dismiss the appeal in its entirety. The Anambra State Command of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons (NAPTIP) has secured the conviction of a 44-year-old woman, Goodness Daniel, for involvement in human trafficking. The judgment was delivered by the High Court of Anambra State, Okada Judicial Division. Presiding over the matter, Justice Peace Oti found the defendant guilty of trading in human beings in violation of Section 2(1) of the Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Enforcement and Administration Act 2015. The court sentenced Goodness to 5 years imprisonment with an option of a 2 million naira fine. In addition to the sentence, the court ordered her to pay 2.6 million naira to the victim and prosecution witness as restitution. Goodness was initially arraigned on July 9, 2024, following investigations that revealed her involvement in the buying and selling of human beings. NAPTIP has reiterated its commitment to ensuring justice for survivors and holding traffickers accountable under Nigerian law. The Anambra State Government has arrested some illegal revenue collectors who molest commercial motorcycles, wheelbarrow pushers, hawkers, among others, at Okada White House, Newi North local government area of the state. Parading the suspects, the commander in charge of illegal revenue collection in Anambra State Internal Revenue Service, Mr. Nathan Obikwelu, said that the suspects were arrested collecting money from motorcycle operators, hawkers, and wheelbarrow pushers, which Governor Chukwuma Soludo has banned in the state. Obikwelu noted that the suspects would be charged to court to serve as a deterrent to others, urging all illegal revenue collectors in the state to leave or face arrest and prosecution. Two of the arrested suspects, Agonye Florence and Chioma Oluchukwu, claimed that they were not aware that Governor Soludo had banned the collection and revealed that they were working for one Azoka Abodike from Uragu, Newi. The Anambra State Police Command has initiated a manhunt for the suspects responsible for the killing of 10 people in Ogboji, Orumba South local government area on June 30th. The police public relations officer SP Tochukwu Ikenga confirmed the development in a statement released in Awka. Ikenga condemned the indiscriminate shooting incident, which left 10 individuals dead, describing it as a tragic and unprovoked attack. According to the police spokesperson, the assailants arrived in 2 sports utility vehicles and opened fire on a gathering without provocation. The victims were rushed to a hospital where 10 were confirmed dead. Their bodies have since been deposited at the morgue. The police have taken control of the crime scene and are actively gathering intelligence to apprehend those responsible. SP Kenga assured that the command is committed to bringing the perpetrators to justice. Meanwhile, Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has condemned the killing of 10 Ebonyi State indigents in Ogboji, Orumba South local government area of Anambra State, describing the incident as barbaric and unacceptable. In a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Dr. Monday Oza, the governor expressed shock at the report of the attack, which he said targeted citizens who were engaged in a peaceful meeting. He described the killings as a direct assault on peace, unity, and the sanctity of human life. Governor Nwifuru said he had contacted the governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, urging a swift and transparent investigation into the killings. He expressed hope that the Anambra State authorities and relevant security agencies would act decisively to identify and prosecute those responsible. He warned that failure to address the incident thoroughly could strain the relationship between the 2 neighboring states. While awaiting the outcome of the investigation, Nwifuru appealed for calm among Ebonyi residents, especially families and communities directly affected by the incident. He called on them to avoid any form of retaliation or actions that could inflame tensions. The Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) has donated food items to survivors of the recent flood disaster in Mopa local government area of Niger State. Presenting the relief items to the state's Deputy Governor Yakub Garba, the CAN president, His Eminence Archbishop Daniel Oko, expressed deep sorrow over the destruction caused by the devastating flood. Represented by CAN Vice President Reverend Stephen Baba Panya, Archbishop Oko called on government bodies and non-governmental organizations to view the tragic incident as a reminder of our collective responsibility to support one another during times of distress. The clergyman noted that the donation of food items was a gesture of love and solidarity with the victims, particularly those who were directly impacted by the flood disaster. He explained that CAN's support was meant to complement the interventions of the federal and state governments, emergency agencies, well-meaning Nigerians, and other humanitarian partners. Receiving the relief items on behalf of the Deputy Governor, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Mairo Mohammed Man, commended CAN for its generosity and assured that the items will be distributed properly to those in need. The items donated include 20 bags of maize, 20 bags of guinea corn, and 5 bags of beans, among others. The spokesperson for the Delta State Police Command, Bright Edafe, has cautioned the public against taking the laws into their own hands after a video circulated on social media showing a suspected thief being physically assaulted. The video, which gained traction on X, depicted security operatives tying up the legs of the suspect while bystanders beat him. The person who posted the video claimed that the suspect, identified as a customer of First City Monument Bank, had locked himself inside the restroom at one of the bank's branches, climbed onto the ceiling, and attempted to hack the bank's computer systems. Responding to the video, the Delta State Police spokesperson noted that jungle justice can lead to imprisonment. The interim national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Senator David Mark, has called on Nigerians to join the coalition of opposition parties, saying that the movement is set to rescue the country from collapse and rebuild its democracy. Mark, a former Senate president, said this yesterday in Abuja at the unveiling of the ADC as the platform for the coalition parties ahead of the country's next elections in 2027. He said the ADC is a concerted effort to rebuild the crumbling pillars of Nigeria's democracy and prevent the country's descent into a one-party state. Mark said the coalition is ready to make things right and asked Nigerians to join the team. Leaders and members of the opposition coalition had converged on the Yar'Adua Center in Abuja for a meeting. The 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, his Labour Party counterpart, Peter Obi, a former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and a former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amaechi, were present at the meeting. Also present was a former governor of Osun State, Ralph Arebushola, who was recently appointed as the interim national secretary of the ADC. Others were a former member of the National Assembly, Senator Dino Melaye, a former Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, Dele Mamodu, Senator Gabriel Suswam, Senator Ireti Kingibe of the Labour Party, a former Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emeka Ihedioha, and a former Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, retired. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has charged members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, deployed to Delta State to remain focused and dedicated to their duties in their places of primary assignment. Governor Oborevwori gave the advice at the official closing ceremony of the 2025 Batch A Stream 2 orientation course held at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Iseluku, Anyocha local government area. Speaking through the Commissioner for Youth Development, Mr. Trakirowe Harry Tangod, Governor Oborevwori charged the corps members to be mindful of the company they keep, conduct themselves with dignity at all times, and avoid any words or actions that could incite conflicts or disrupt social harmony. He also enjoined the youth to uphold the ideals of national service and resist the temptation of antisocial behaviors while avoiding cultism, drug abuse, alcoholism, and other vices, which could jeopardize not only their service here, but also their future. While assuring the corps members of a safe and peaceful stay in Delta State, Governor Oborevwori taxed them on respecting the customs and cultural norms of their host communities and showing adaptability and tolerance in their interactions. In his remarks, the NYSC Delta State Coordinator, Mr. John Vandi T. Kwahe, said the 3 weeks orientation program had equipped the corps members with essential skills and values through a series of lectures and engagements in relevant areas of knowledge. Kwahe commended Governor Oborevwori for his continued support to the NYSC scheme, particularly for his commitment to the ongoing infrastructural improvements in the orientation camp. The NYSC coordinator also commended the corps members for their exemplary conduct, resilience, and discipline throughout the 3-week orientation program. To end the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m., a recap of the major headlines. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the legal tussle on the Edo State governorship election petition. Governor Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has condemned the killing of 10 Ebonyi State indigenes in Ogboji, Orumba South local government area of Anambra State, describing the incident as barbaric and unacceptable. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has donated food items to survivors of the recent flood disaster in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. And finally, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has charged members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, deployed to Delta State to remain focused and dedicated to their duties in their places of primary assignment. That was the Sapientia TV news at 1 p.m. On behalf of the editorial and technical crew, I am Joe Igbo. Good afternoon and thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.